Now you're here, then why not stay at the Darkmoon Faire? Though things aren't as they seem, just ignore those eyes that gleam. Come laugh and maybe scream at the Darkmoon Faire. You may think that you're dreaming, flying on a carousel. Surely there's nobody scheming or putting you under a spell. Shadows dancing, bounding leaves, swinging up the thing that sleeps. Right behind you, something creeps and melts in the night with a dreadful delight. Dark
So, hey guys, it's Mirak here, and guess what? We got a new expansion, Madness, at the Darkmoon Faire. So, what is this expansion all about? They are about the return of the old gods. So, let me show you some cards here. So, first off, we have Kiri, chosen of Illumin. Add a solar eclipse and lunar eclipse to your hand. For 4 mana, you get cards that equate to 2 mana there for lunar eclipse, 3 damage to minion. Your next spell costs this turn costs 2 less. Another 2 mana for solar eclipse. Your next spell this turn costs twice. So the importance here is that it is this specific turn. So that's pretty interesting. 3 damage to minion for 2 mana. That's pretty good for a common. That's really good actually. So it's gonna be good. Is this legendary going to be good? I mean, if you have something that duplicates your battle cry, say from Brand and Wild, this would be extra value. At the same time, I'd rather put a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse just in my deck, but that takes 2 slots. So we have 1 of each. We have 2 of each. That's 4 slots of your deck. Now you can put this 1 card. You get, well, you free up a card slot, which is nice. So there's that benefit. But I mean, it's just a 2/2 body attached to these 2 spells. Now if this was 3 mana, this would be a different story. It would be much better at 3 mana. But it kind of balances out at 4 mana. So it's interesting. So this card just by itself is 3 damage to minion. Your next spell, keyword this turn. So cost 2 less. So that's interesting as well. So you're on 10 mana. You play this, and you play the survival of the fittest or whatever it's called, and you can cast it. In addition, you get 3 damage to something. I mean, that's very fringe. But this being a common makes it decent, I would think. And Solar Eclipse, same thing, but it casts a spell twice. So it casts, say, what would it be? Example, like a swipe would be casted twice. So I think these 2 cards are average, and the legendary, I think it's below average. To me, it's below average. So now we have Darkmoon Rabbit, the best rabbit of them all. Rush and poisons. Also damages the minions next to whomever this attacks. So you attack something, it does a cleave effect, killing 3 minions. For 10 mana, I mean, it is expensive, but it's interesting because it has rush. So if this gets summoned in some way, you get to play and kill 3 minions if they don't have Divine Shield. I like it, and the artist here, Matt Dixon, man, I love his art, but that's beside the point. I like it. It's above average. I would say not great card, but it has some potential. So next we have Cthulhu, the Shattered. So I'll show you the different pieces somewhere on the screen here. So as you see, each body part, or yeah, just pieces, there's 4 pieces. Each one costs 5 mana. That's 20 mana. So you have to draw each piece, play each piece, and then wait. And then once it comes together, Cthulhu goes back into your deck, and then you have to cast it. It just a lot of setup. 20 mana to put the pieces together. Put the Cthulhu back into your deck, and you have to draw it. So that's a lot of randomness. It's a good thing because start of game, break into pieces, then you have to draw them. You draw each one and cast it, draw and cast it. It's annoying, per se. I mean, it's a great card. No. Is it decent? Not really. To me, just, I don't like it. It does not remind me of the old Cthulhu, where you have the servants of Cthulhu that you play. Well, the bad part about getting those servants of Cthulhu into your deck, those take card slots. The big benefit of this card is it doesn't take 4 card slot, it doesn't take 5 card slot, it doesn't take 10, it takes 1 card slot into your deck. So that's a big benefit of this card. So you have some way to have like a brand effect where you have something that does a battle cry twice. This makes it good. It doesn't make it great because that takes more setup. Like you have Brand and Wild, you have to draw Brand, you have to draw Cthulhu, you have to draw the pieces, you have to put all the pieces together, you draw Cthulhu, then you have to play the Brand. The Brand has to survive a turn, and then next turn you play the Shattered Cthulhu for 60 damage. I mean, Brand has to survive. So the big benefit, as I said, it doesn't take multiple card slots. So I like it for that aspect. For everything else, it's too slow. I mean, if you're playing a control deck, this is fine for controlling, obviously. But besides that, you're not really gonna put this in the mid range. You're definitely not gonna put this in the aggro deck. I mean, maybe you're psychotic and you put this in the aggro deck. I don't know. Maybe. Anyways, next card. Yasharaj, the Defiler. Add a copy of each corrupted card you played this game to your hand. They cost 0 this turn. So I'm gonna show you the keyword somewhere on the screen here. So, corrupt. It's kind of a weird wording for this, but you have a card that has corrupt on it. Like, for example, it costs 5 mana. The corrupt card, the card that has the corrupt keyword, costs 5 mana. Okay, for example, you have to have it in your hand, and then you have to play a card that costs more than 5, so 6 and greater. So once you play the card that costs more than the corrupt card gets corrupted. So we'll get into a few of those cards in a bit here, but this is pretty cool. Battlecry, add a copy of each corrupted card you played this game to your hand. They're free this turn. So that's important. This turn. So I think that really balances it out. It definitely balances out the Eclipse cards and this card. So I think, as well as corrupt, this turn will probably be in several other cards. So 10 mana, 10, 10. I like it. It's good. It's not great, it's good. So, Silas, Darkmoon. So as of the release of this video, Silas has been out for 48 hours now. It has an interesting effect. Battlecry, choose a direction to rotate minions like a carousel. So you're controlling a carousel. So your opponent has a 10-10, also a 5-5, or a poison card, for example. Like 3 cards. There's a 10-10 on the left-hand side, a 5-5 in the middle, a poison card on the right-hand side. And then you have something that has Death Rattle on the right-hand side and a 10-10 on the left-hand side. So you don't want to give your opponent two 10-10s. So you don't want to rotate it to the right or clockwise. You want to go counterclockwise so that death rattle ends up on the opponent's side and the 10-10 goes on the opponent's left hand side goes on your side now. So yes, this way and that way. So this way is, yeah, that way is to the right, and this way to the left. So that's pretty cool, right? So some people actually have some OTK combos with this card already. So how would you nerf this? Maybe make it a death rattle instead? Maybe I'll do it. Or gotta cry. Your game board rotates counterclockwise or clockwise. I don't know how would you word that. Battle cry. The direction of your minions, or battle cry. Rotate all minions randomly. That'd be interesting, because you don't have control which way it will rotate. Something like that would balance this card tremendously. Or death rattle, rotate all minions randomly, something like that. That would be interesting. 7 mana, I think that's a perfect cost. Or maybe make it 10 mana. 10 mana 3/3. Battle cry, or no. Be 10 mana, 3 attack, 3 health, death rattle, rotate all minions randomly. Something like that, maybe. So, next card. Hearthstone, Master of Fate. So, spin the wheel of Hearthstone. So you'll see here all the cards that will come out of, well, you have a chance to get one of these cards that costs 0 mana. They're free, so that's pretty cool, right? So as you see here, all these different cards that might come from the wheel. Number 5% for the Fire Blast one, and 19% for the others. So really interesting. You get a chance to get the classic Hearthstone. Like I've stated, I like this card. It's a great card. It's a fun card. So I'm gonna rate this 1 out of 10. So, next card. Zoth, God of the Deep. Resurrect a friendly minion of each minion type. Is that good? Is that bad? I mean, it takes setup. This is definitely a late game card, so this will be definitely in the control archetype. So you want to have strong minion types. Like King Crush would be a good example. So what else besides King Crush? There's some good dragons. There's some elementals. Let's see here. Murloc. any strong Murlocs? Not really. There's Demon, which I don't know. This is gonna be an interesting card. It's gonna be fun, for sure. Is there a great card? Maybe. Because you're resurrecting a King Crush. I mean, King Crush is usually the end game. Like, you play King Crush, that's it, game over. So is this a good card? Probably not. I mean, maybe the first week, there might be some strong stuff. I mean, there are some amalgams out there, but I think there's only one in Wild. So maybe there'll be more amalgam type cards. So we'll see. This card has potential. So next we have Guess the Weight. Draw a card. Guessing your next card costs more or less to draw it. So at its best, it's a 2 mana, draw 2. 2 mana, draw 1. I mean, you're casting the Warlock Hero Power without costing 2 health. So that's nice. Get the Warlock, well, the upgraded Warlock Hero Power, or 2 cards for 2 mana, if you guess correctly. It's cool. It's a cool mechanic. If I were rating this out of 10, it'd be a 7. I like the card. I do like it. For Druid, it's nice. I mean, mixed, there's a card. It's for Druid. Like, you cast the spell, all other, your next spell will cost 1 less. I believe it's Druid, but anyways, next card we have Don't Tank. So, corrupt card. Deal 4 damage for 4 mana. For a rare, that's decent. But if you cast a card that costs 5 mana or more, this card, as long as this is in your hand, when you play the more expensive cards, so there you go, upgrades in hand after you play cards that cost more. It's nice. So if this gets corrupted, you deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. I mean, it'd be nice if it was deal 2 damage to all enemies. That maybe the cost of this card would go up to 6 mana. So for 4 mana, you're dealing damage to any minions. I mean, it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It's a 5 out of 10. So next card. Fleet Hoof Pearl Tusk. Another corrupt card. So yeah, as you guessed it, if you cast a card that costs 6 or more, while this is in your hand, this gets to be an 8/8 with Rush. I like it. It's slow. It makes some awkward turns. So you have to draw this. This has to be in your hand. So you draw a card that costs 6 or more. Okay, so Once you play the 6 cost, you have to play this on the next turn, or this with a coin. Yeah, with the coin. So you play the 6 mana, you play the coin, and you play this. Is that worth it? I mean, there's turn 10. This card is 4 out of 10. Next, we have Fortune Teller, Taunt, Modify, and gain 1/1 for each spell in your hand. I'm at 3/3. That's terrible for stat wise. For this being a taunt, makes it okay. If you don't have any spells, it's just a 3/3. Just okay. Your opponent has to use resources to get rid of it. So its base value, it's a 4 out of 10. So you have one spell in your hand, become a 4/4, so on and so forth. So the optimal value, you want to have at least 3 spells in your hand before you play this. I'm in a 6/6 with Taunt. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. This is an 8 out of 10. So you have 9 spells. You become a 5-mana 12 spell. I like it. You, of course, your opponent can just polymorph or just get rid of it in some way, but that's your opponent using resources. So that's a good thing. It's a good card. I like it a lot. So the last card I'll announce today, Darkmoon Faire. Another corrupt. So before, well, 3 mana, you're summoning 5 700 cards. Sure. 3 mana you're casting, well, you're summoning 3 700 cards. Usually cost 6 mana over 3 turns to, well, have the same kind of value. So 3 mana, summon 3 things. So basically it's a 3 mana 3/3. So if it gets corrupted, 3 mana 5/5. Those good. Those are some good stats right there. So you know what? I hope you enjoyed me talking about these different cards. I think the best card that was announced so far, Fortune Teller. Like long term, Fortune Teller is gonna be good. Yeah, I like it. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to click that subscribe button. I mean, why would you want to miss out on this kind of content? I'm just saying, why would you? Anyways, see you next time.